Hello, Messiah, Texas. I am coming to you today from Jerusalem. I am in the heart of Jerusalem, very close to the Temple Mount, at a hotel, obviously. So today I'm bringing you right from Jerusalem, Psalm 32, a Psalm of David. It says, "How blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. How blessed is the man to whom the Lord does not impute iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no deceit. When I kept silent about my sin," now that's the NASB's translation, but let me give you another suggestion of behind the scenes here. "When I am caused to be deaf." So you keep silent about your sin when you're caused to be deaf. So is there something maybe causing you to be deaf to your sin? Maybe you just don't see it. You're not aware of it. Well, David said that had kept silent about his sin because he was deaf to his own self. He deceived himself, like with Bathsheba, right? He kind of tried to cover it up and just deceive himself and justify, right? We self-justify our sin sometimes, right? He said, "My body wasted away, though my groaning all day long. For day and night your hand was heavy upon me. My vitality was drained away as with the fever heat of the summer, Selah." So when we're blind and we become deaf, right? The Shema is the foremost commandment, right? "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one, and you shall love the Lord your God," the Ve'ahavta. So you can't love God and neighbor if you don't hear, right? And so we become deaf to our own sin and become unaware of it. Because he goes on in verse 5, "And I acknowledged my sin to you." In other words, this is the root from Yodea, to know. So when I become aware of my sin to you and my iniquity, he does not hide it anymore, right? He did not hide or cover part, and he forgives them, right? He pardons them, he covers it, he forgives it. Then I said, "I will confess my transgressions to the Lord, and you forgave the guilt of my sin." So that word there that they're putting for you, "and you forgave the guilt of my sin," is from this root that has the sense of you carry it, you lift up, you raise up. So there's deep extra meaning we don't have time to get into, but we could get into on that word. So go dig on that word. It's a great word. You can get a lot more layers of meaning there. So he says, "And you forgave the guilt of my sin, Selah. Therefore let everyone who is godly pray to you in a time when you may be found." Remember, salvation is now, right? And that doesn't just mean salvation for the world to come or to go to heaven. Death is not your salvation. It's not just, hey, death is my salvation so I can go to heaven. No, salvation is now. So he wants to free every part of you and bring everything up so it can be transmuted, so it can be a lesson, so you can help free others, right? Through the lessons that he teaches you and what you carry. "So surely in a flood of great waters, they will not reach him," it says, or touch him or strike or afflict him. In a flood of great waters. "You are my hiding place. You preserve," that is watch over, keep, protect me from trouble. "You surround," and you being God, "surround me," David says, "with songs of deliverance." You know, he'll wake you up with a song and put it in your spirit, or bring it and drop it in your head, or bubble it up from your spirit a lot of times to minister to you, to speak to you, and to deliver you with the words in that song. And you should keep singing it until that comes. "I will instruct you and teach you in the way in which you should go." Now that word teach there, ve'or-cha, it's actually from the root of yara, right? Which is like where we put a tav on the front and it becomes Torah, right? Hitting the mark, the yara, hitting the mark. So enlightenment. So when he says, "I will instruct you and teach you," the Lord is saying, "I will enlighten you." I will literally, the word is from Genesis 1, 2, or 3. I think it was 1, 3. or, Aleph, Vav, Resh. It's the or, right? I will enlighten you. He will give you enlightenment, right? He will put his light in you, right? And cause you to hear and cause you to be delivered now, today. So let's keep going. I'm going to try to wrap it up because I'm at 5 minutes already. But salvation is now. Deliverance is now. I will counsel you with my eye upon you. That is, advise, deliberate, consult together with you. Anything you need, he has. So just go to him. You don't need to go to man. You go to the master, and he will counsel you. He will enlighten you. He is the great enlightened master. Oh, that's funny. Sorry, I like to laugh at my own jokes. Do not be as the horse or as the mule, which have no understanding, whose trappings include bit and bridle to hold them in check. You don't need external person holding you in bit and bridle, right? You can be led internally from the inside out by the Spirit. Otherwise, they will not come near to you. He's talking about the horses, the analogy. Many are the sorrows of the wicked, but he who trusts in the Lord, loving kindness, that chesed, shall surround him. Be glad in the Lord and rejoice, you righteous ones, and shout for joy, all you who are upright in heart. Have a blessed weekend. Shabbat shalom.